Monday night game, what do you take out of that one? The one that we just saw between the Rams and the Cardinals, Brian. What's portable that we can apply to the last month of the season, do you think? With that one?
I think coming into the game, obviously what Sean McVay and the Rams were dealing with from the COVID standpoint of losing 5 starters for that game. Jalen Ramsey, Havenstein, the offensive lineman, Higbee, big contributors for the Rams, both sides of the football. And for them, honestly, coming into the game, I was trying to figure out what is the recipe? How are they going to win this football game on the road against an Arizona team which had been hot? And I felt like the response from the stars, from the Aaron Donalds, from the Von Miller, from Matthew Stafford, and what they were able to do with Cooper Kupp throughout the course of the game, I think that this Rams team, which everybody was talking so much about, Super Bowl or bust, all in, OBJ, Von Miller, bring all the individual stars, and they were a collection of individual players, Hall of Fame type players, but they really needed to find a way to play as a team. And that was the theme for us throughout the course of the game, was watching them play as a team, complementary football, the things that aren't sexy, situational football. And they won that game because of those reasons. Conversely, the Arizona Cardinals were not good in situational football and managing the clock late and making the plays that they needed to make and turning the football over. So taking from that game, Rich, is the Rams are going to be there at the end. They're going to be in the hunt for the NFC West potentially, but certainly for the wild card. And if they get in and Matthew Stafford continues to play at a high level and Sony Michel continues to play at a high level, and they get Darrell Henderson back, and they establish that physical run game and play action, maybe they can compete in the NFC. That's what I took away.
Yeah, and then my question is how sustainable is that for the Rams? And I think it is. And the guy who I think that makes it sustainable is Sony Michel. And I know you were talking about it during the broadcast about the running and his ability to give the offense what they need, not just in yards and staying on schedule, but also the play action, everything that comes out of that. I asked that of Andrew Whitworth yesterday, and he agreed that he kind of gives them what C.J. Anderson did in their Super Bowl season of a few years ago, Brian.
Yeah, and an attitude. Rich, right? I mean, he came from New England. He understands how to play the game. He has been coached well, and he understands how a physical run game can impact a team. And I think that, they lost Robert Woods about a month ago, and he was not just a great receiver, but he was the dog on that offense. He was the competitive nature. He would not back down from anybody. He's the guy you want in the alley in a fight.
Right.
And they lost more than just a great wide receiver with Robert Woods. They lost an attitude and a competitiveness. And it's taken them a while to kind of get back. And I think Sony Michel brings a little bit of that. And if nothing else, to have that attitude in the huddle, that belief, and obviously he's a physical player, but I think that they were missing that. And, the offensive line has gotten better. They won on Monday night without 2 starters on the offensive line. They lost, one of their best playmakers, and Tyler Higbee wasn't there, and they needed to rise up and to respond with their backs against the wall. And Sony Michel brought that attitude, I thought.
Let's do this for the NFC too. You had the Packers back in week 2. I mean, that was when Rodgers apparently didn't care about football because he got blown out in week 1 against New Orleans, and then we've seen differently. You saw the Bucs against the Giants week 11, Cowboys week 3 against the Eagles. That's so long ago. So what do you got? I mean, who do you have for me right now in the NFC? You've seen a few of these teams in person, but now that you're watching them play right now, what do you got for me when it all comes down going into week 15 on that front, Brian?
Yeah, I think it starts with the 2 OGs, the 2 guys that are in the MVP race. There's no question about that. I think you know what you're going to get from the Packers and the Bucs, and so I think those 2 are a given. I think there's a lot of questions about the Cardinals. I'm not giving up on the Cardinals, but just watching them in person Monday night, there are some issues that they have, I think, in their confidence level in in the second half of games and finishing games and playing situational football and Kyler Murray protecting the ball. They are explosive, and they are good on the defensive end. They didn't play well in the secondary on Monday night, which I was hoping and anticipating them to play well under Vance Joseph, but they didn't. I'm a big fan of Jalen Thompson and Budda Baker, Marco Wilson, and I think they'll bounce back. So I think that they'll win the West. I think that the Rams will have a chance, like I said. The 49ers are a team that are scary, that is just so physical. And I think they find a way to sneak in. And I know there's no team in the NFC that wants to face that run game.
I agree.
And as their defense continues to get better, George Kittle is so hot right now. So I think that's a team that's going to be there. And then, so everybody wants to know about the Dallas Cowboys. And I'm a little concerned about what I've seen from Dak Prescott. I believe that he has what it takes to take this team deep into the playoffs, but he's got to play better. And they got to play better around him. And thankfully for him, Michael Parsons and his defense has been playing lights out. It's been really fun to watch them. We have a flex in week 18 on Monday night. We'll have a doubleheader on Saturday. I'm hopeful maybe we get Dallas or maybe San Francisco. I know they play the Rams. That'll be a big game in week 18. But it's going to come down to the very end. You know that, Rich.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.